So I woke up like around 4 a.m. and was having, mild contractions. But I had had so much pre-labor, 4 days of pre-labor with my first birth, that I didn't think too much of it. I was just kind of like, oh, interesting. Okay, we'll see where this goes. And kind of tried to go back to sleep, kind of, dozed in and out. I was working that entire day. I was taking care of a little girl who, I can't remember at the time, she was 18 months, I think, 17, 18 months. And I had my my 2.5-year-old daughter. So I took my daughter to school and was home with the other little girl. I had a stress test that day, which was interesting because at the stress test, I told them that I had been having contractions all morning, and they were kind of like, yeah, we haven't picked up on any of them. So in my mind, I was like, okay, fine, so maybe nothing's going on. But they did tell me my water levels were really low and that to come back on Friday instead of the following week. And I remember specifically saying to the lady, I don't think that I'm gonna be coming back on Friday. I'm pretty sure that the baby's gonna be born before that. And she was like, I don't know, she kind of thought I was kind of crazy, I think. And so I left and went on with my day and continued having contractions pretty much all day. And they just kept getting, more and more significant, and I was basically in denial all day. Like every single time I had a contraction, I pretty much was like, okay, cool, interesting. I think even to the point where my husband multiple times during the day said to me, you're in labor. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe, we'll see, I'm not really sure. And I definitely specifically remember around 4:30 when the little girl I was taking care of was going home, that I remember thinking, okay, she needs to go home now. Like, this is feeling more substantial. But I had a massage scheduled at 5, and he had a massage scheduled at 5, and we were both like, all right, we're gonna go have our massages. Luckily mine was in walking distance to my house, because on the way there I was texting him and was like, yeah, like whatever you feel like bringing something home for dinner, bring something home for dinner. In the massage, the contractions got more and more significant. I had to stop the massage early because I thought my water broke. It didn't break, but I definitely was like, I need to go home. And that was like around like 6:15-ish, 6:30. I got home, I walked home. I immediately walked in my house. My mom was putting our older daughter to bed, our 2.5-year-old to bed, and my stepfather was sitting on the couch, and I basically like looked at him and was like, I'm in labor, you guys need to leave. And my mom, I remember her trying to like give me advice as I was like literally pushing her out the door, and was telling her, just stay, keep your phone nearby, we'll give you a call when you need to go to the hospital. So from there, I was putting Scarlett to bed, and that was like around 7-ish. Like part of the way putting her to bed, I had to leave the room, and thank God she like accepted it and let Brendan finish putting her to bed and went to sleep. That was like a miracle. I have no idea how the stars aligned for that. But then I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a shower. I hadn't packed a hospital bag yet. I wanted to take a shower and really wanted to shave my legs. So I did that. Then I packed a bag, and still having contractions like this entire time. And then I remember thinking, okay, I'm gonna lay down and try and like rest. So I laid down on the couch and like for 2 seconds. And at that point it was like steady contractions, like every 2 minutes. And I was on the floor pretty much moaning and groaning into the couch. I don't know how our daughter didn't wake up. We put on Pandora, and that was the music, lavender candles. Brendan was making a pizza, and I think around, I don't know what time, maybe an hour later, he called our doula, who had been at Disneyland the whole day, because we saw her the day before. And she was like, so what are you thinking? Like, how are you feeling? And I was like, I think next week, or I'm gonna have this baby next week. And she was like, okay, cool, I'm going to Disneyland tomorrow. I was like, yeah, no problem, don't worry about it. So I texted her earlier in the day and was kind of like, I'm having contractions, I don't know where they're going, but just to let you know. And she was like, okay, well, keep me posted. So I think at that point she was on her way back from Disneyland. She was still like an hour and a half away. And yeah, things picked up really fast from there. I don't really remember exactly the timeline, but we called my mom like around 9. I was in the driveway, basically like screaming in the car, like, we need to leave. I wanted to leave Scarlett here before my parents even got here. I was like, we need to go now. We need to leave now. This baby's coming now. And that was it. We took off. I thought we were having the baby in the car. We made it to the hospital. I walked in. It was at the Jacobs Center, and I remember looking at this big, beautiful birthing bathtub, and I was like, oh man, that would have been nice. And basically said, I'm ready to push. I want to start pushing. The midwife and the nurses were like, we need to check you first. They did. I was ready to go, started pushing, and she was born an hour later. And that was it. It was intense.
Yeah, I remember we talked to our doula while the contractions were starting to get more rapid, and she said, try to keep track of them. And it was to the point where I was between trying to keep, track of the contractions and, dealing with the pizza. I just couldn't do it. They were happening so quick. So I'm like, yeah, maybe we should go. And literally, I think I mentioned earlier, I pulled up the Jacobs Center, which, another word of advice, we didn't go there beforehand. Because if she was born 2 days earlier, we would have been at the old UCSD facility. But the fact that, so we were one of the first people in our room at the new Jacobs Center, which was pretty immaculate there. It was awesome. But I didn't know where the entrance was. I didn't know where the drop off was. So I recommend that make sure you do a trial run of whatever hospital you're going to, because I literally had to leave my car with the engine running in the roundabout, and hopefully hoping it was there when I came back. And luckily it was, but the battery was dead and I had to get it jumped. But it happened quick.
Really fast.
But it was awesome. Yeah, no, we had our vaginal birth that we were looking for.
It was definitely the birth that I had envisioned for the first time around. So I was super excited that I had that experience. I would highly recommend being educated on the entire process. Go to a VBAC class so that you can, see if there's anything that you're holding on to from the previous birth that you can let go of. I mean, that truly helped me so immensely. Yeah, get a doula. Doulas are so helpful. Make sure your partner is like feeling good about it and on board, and whatever he needs to do to prepare himself is there to support you. Big things for me were our second child being asleep and not involved in the process. But for some people, I know that they want that. So I guess it would be, thinking about what it is that is important to you and what you definitely do not want, and make it yours. Do it exactly the way you want it to be, and don't let anybody persuade you in any other direction. Like, do it the way you want it to be done, so that you feel absolutely comfortable, completely secure in your decisions, and then just breathe and let it happen. Follow your body.
Yeah, the preparation was huge. We did a hypnobirthing class, which was great. I mean, just sitting in the room with the same families that are going through the same thing we are once a week, just almost felt like a support group, and just being educated and understanding what's going to happen. Because especially our first daughter, you hear stories and you can probably find stuff online, but I think it helps to be there with other families to talk about it and just be prepared for what might come up, and just the practice, the breathing and everything.
Meditation helped a lot for me especially in the last month. Just being able to clear my mind and let go, clear my energy channels, being open to whatever was going to happen. Honestly, it wasn't even a big deal to me whether I had a C-section or a VBAC. I just wanted it to all go, smoothly, and just in my envision of how I wanted it to be, and I think we definitely got that the second time.
If you like this video, share it with a friend and subscribe to our page. And for more information, go to birtheducationcenter.com to help rewrite your birth.